Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Beware the Board, a horror podcast where we watch a randomly selected horror movie every single week. I'm Bob.
I'm Ben.
Hey, Ben.
Hello. You ready to do this week's episode?
I guess.
Okay.
Are you not ready?
I mean,
What do you mean you know?
I was ready like 5 minutes ago when we were doing our mic
Oh,
test.
my God, bro.
Then it
Shut
took so long
up.
for some reason.
I hope you trip down the stairs. Yeah, I said it.
Which ones? I have a lot of stairs
Oh,
in
that's
this
true,
house.
actually. Specifically the ones into the basement.
Okay.
Because maybe no one will find you when you fall. You know? I think it's the highest likelihood of you being mortally wounded.
The only ones I've fallen down are the ones outside.
Well, that
Like
makes
on our
sense.
front porch?
It's icy.
Because they get slick when it rains.
And they're stone, right?
No, the wooden ones.
Oh, the ones up. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like the front porch.
I like fully cartoon character down those steps.
Oh, that's awesome.
It hurt a lot.
I'm sorry to hear that, I guess. Anyway, do you have anything you would talk about before we get to the podcast part of the podcast, Ben?
Yeah, I guess I'll mention some stuff.
Ooh.
Reanimator is having its 40th anniversary, so they're
You
releasing
did send that to me.
like a 4K kind of special thing. So that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
So if you're interested in getting like a Reanimator disc because you don't own a Blu-ray already, 4K's out now. Plus, I think it comes with a really large like booklet of production facts and everything.
Oh, that's so fun.
It's like, and it's like wide if you get the deluxe edition. It's like I think I want to say it's like 50 or 100 pages, something like that. So pretty decent.
That's a lot.
Otherwise, not exactly news, but I finally watched the trailer for Wolfman,
Oh,
the Blumhouse one.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what I think of that trailer.
I'm going to be honest. I'm scared that movie's going to be really bad.
Because, first of all, I try not to judge a film before it comes out. And it could end up being good.
That's fair.
But, first of all, it doesn't look like it's a remake of The Wolfman. It looks like it's its own, like, just werewolf film.
I think I'm okay with that.
Which I'm kind of okay with, but it's...
Stupid that they took the name.
Yeah, kind of. But the other thing I want to mention here is it's by the same people who did the last Invisible Man film.
Oh, you like that one, don't you?
I like that one. I think it's well done, but it's not like the Invisible Man.
It's like a modern spin that has some...
It's a modern spin with an invisible person. And while I'm fine with that film as a film, I don't necessarily like it as a Universal monster film, like compared to the original.
Interesting.
So my thought process is that's maybe how we're going to end up with this film.
That kind of
Where I'm
sucks,
like,
though.
It's an okay werewolf film, but not...
A good Wolfman film.
Yeah. Also, I think Blumhouse just announced that they're doing a Mummy film.
I'm sure that won't be bad.
I think that happened. I just read something about that.
Well, who did the... well, I guess it was Universal that did the Mummy 2018 or whatever with Tom Cruise, right?
Yeah, because they own the property.
Yeah.
But I think it's being done by Lee Cronin, so the Evil Dead Rise guy.
Oh, I literally just saw an article on this on Bloody Disgusting. I
Yeah.
passed it up for what I'm about to talk about in a minute.
So, maybe that'll be good. Maybe it'll be really bad.
I hope it's good. We haven't
Yeah.
watched The Wolfman for the podcast, but I'm very, very excited when we get to it.
Well, I'm more worried about the Mummy. Because, I love the Brendan Fraser ones. And I
They're good.
love the original one.
The original Mummy is so good.
I refuse to watch the Tom Cruise one.
You haven't seen it?
Nah.
I've just heard it's really bad
I've
too.
heard
I
it's
haven't
really
seen it,
bad.
yeah.
So I just haven't gone out of my way to see it.
That's totally fair. One day though, we'll have to watch it.
And I'm concerned about this one because, sometimes Blumhouse makes great stuff. But,
Yeah,
sometimes.
I feel like a lot of the time Blumhouse is pretty hit or miss. You know what I mean?
Especially recently.
Yeah. A lot
But
of the recent stuff's not been great.
I feel like they've been producing a lot more, big stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's been part of the issue.
That's fair.
Because, the Halloween stuff,
Mhm.
people either really like some of those movies.
I've heard
or
the
really
first two
didn't.
are really good and that the third one kind of ruins it.
Yeah. And so, I don't know how they're going to handle another adaptation.
That's fair. I'm excited but hesitant, I guess. I'm kind of in the same boat as you.
I'm excited for Nosferatu.
I am also excited for Nosferatu.
As of this releasing, it came out Wednesday, so a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And I've hopefully seen it by now because I think I'm going to see it release day, so on Christmas.
I really wish I could. I want to go.
I just really don't do anything on Christmas.
Well, yeah, Ben.
Well, like we celebrate Christmas as
As an American.
an American holiday.
Yeah, but
'Cause
not.
it's just easy. So like
Well, when does Hanukkah start?
same day.
Oh, okay.
But
I
we
didn't know
don't.
that.
We never really celebrated Hanukkah.
Really?
Yeah.
You got a bunch of Hanukkah stuff down there in your.
Well,
Like-
see, I live with another Jew,
Wait.
Caden.
Really? I didn't know that.
Oh, didn't you?
No.
Oh.
I had no idea.
That's all his stuff.
It's all Caden stuff.
And
Okay.
I don't really care.
That's fair.
But like, also, we never did anything big,
That's fair.
and it gets a little bit weird because I have to do stuff with my parents one day and then my dad the other. Or
With
my
my
mom-
parents one day,
my
my
mom
dad the
one
other.
day. I started it a different way. So like, I think I'm doing stuff with my mom the day before Christmas, and then stuff with my dad the day after Christmas.
So you're just not doing anything Christmas Day?
I don't think so.
That's wild. No, I have so much shit to do. Like, not only because we work at a place that has like seasonal peak around Christmas time, so we've both been getting a lot of hours and doing a lot of extra work.
You say that my hours have been exactly the same.
Really, my hours have been absolutely atrocious. I'm
Except
getting
for-
hella hours.
They're making us work Saturday and Sunday this week.
Yeah, so we both work to like. I think we're working till what, Christmas? Because Christmas Day or Christmas Eve is our first night off, right?
Yeah.
So it's like 7 or 8
Well, if
straight.
you took that.
Yeah, you can choose to work it. I'm not working.
Oh, fuck no.
Fuck no, because they still pay us for the hours or whatever, because it's technically a holiday if you work. But not only that, it's peak season at my other job too, so I've been working more hours there. And then my girlfriend wants to hang out, and I'm like, I would love to, but I have to record the podcast.
I love you, but
I love you, but scream. Where was I going with that? I went on a tangent for no reason.
doing Christmas stuff or not doing Christmas stuff.
Oh, we've
because
just
I'm gonna
been
go
really
see
busy.
Nosferatu.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that. I mean, I've been hyped about it since it got announced. and,
Since it got announced, yeah,
you know, we do the podcast, so we learn about that stuff
as soon as possible.
as soon as possible. Like the Mummy thing got announced a couple hours ago.
Yeah, before we started recording.
Nosferatu was the same. So actually, I think we heard about it before it got announced.
We did hear about it before it got announced, yeah.
He was doing all his like, I would really want to do Nosferatu. It's Robert Eggers, I believe.
We have been debating how to say this man's last name for years now.
I think it's Eggers.
We can just look it
Eggers.
up.
It's only been like half a year.
No, it's been like the whole time.
We did The Witch like.
But we had talked about him before that.
Oh no, I guess we did do The Witch like a year ago, because that was our old recording studio.
My house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got sidetracked. What news do you have?
Oh, I have a couple of things. But the first one I'm going to start with is something so fucking stupid. One of our most viewed videos and popular episodes of the podcast is Anaconda.
Oh, I was gonna say it's not Anaconda. That's not our most viewed.
It's not. It's one of our, though. It is Anaconda.
Is it Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I think so. I think Texas
think that's
Chainsaw is
right.
like 20K or something. So, you know, we liked Anaconda, kinda. It's okay. They're making another one, Ben. I know there are sequels to the original Anaconda film that we have not watched. We have not gotten around to, I'm pretty sure. But the Anaconda franchise is slithering its way back to theaters with a brand new reboot from Sony, and the studio has officially given the project a 2025 release date this week. If you're interested in what I'm reading right now, check out Bloody Disgusting. They don't sponsor our show. They are just really good at giving us horror news, and I'm reading directly from their article, and I'll skip some stuff.
I knew you were gonna tell me that because look behind the curtain. Bob does his news searching right before the podcast
Yeah.
most of the time, and he was doing it, and he just went, "No, not again."
Yeah. Oh my god. So you know how you're going to go see Nosferatu on Christmas?
Yeah.
Next year you can go see Anaconda. Apparently it's slated for a December 25th, 2025 release.
I think it's straight up because Terrifier 3 was a
Did
Christmas
movie, yeah.
And I said this last week, but I think Hollywood went, obviously the reason that movie succeeded is because it's a Christmas film. And so they're now just making a bunch of Christmas movies. That and I think there's not been a really big franchise going right now, like there was with, Harry Potter and stuff. So there's just stuff open for the Christmas bracket, like scheduling wise, because that is the big movie watching time of the year.
Yeah. I mean, it's cold out, No one was going outside and doing stuff. People are staying in and watching films.
I'm going outside and doing stuff.
Okay.
It's called working.
Well, yeah, we're fucking adults, man.
I work outside.
I don't work outside anymore. Thank God. According to sources, The Hollywood Reporter, the new story involves a group of friends facing a midlife crisis who are remaking their favorite movie from their youth.
Is there a big snake?
Probably. Tom Gormican, who also directed The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, is scripting and directing. Which
Ooh,
actually, that's cool because that's a good movie.
I love that film.
Yeah, I've heard you like that movie. I've just heard really good things. There's some really iconic clips from that movie. Yeah. Well, this is an audio podcast, Ben. The audience can't see the bit you just did. It's the thing
one
of Pedro
with,
Pascal. And
Pedro Pascal smiling.
Yeah.
And,
that's it for this, but I do have one more thing. Oh, well, sorry. That's it for actual news related to this film because there's nothing else really out about it yet because they just announced it.
yeah, I will say I don't know if it's going to be like an Anaconda film, but I'm sure there's going to be a big Anaconda in it because it's one of those titles you can just reuse for any snake film, essentially.
Sure. So, I did not know this. So, we were talking about sequels earlier for Anaconda. There was a sequel in 2004 and 2009. And I did not know this. There is a crossover movie with Lake Placid,
Yes.
the giant croc movie that we haven't seen.
Yeah. I always think we've seen that because
No,
I've
we need
seen
to watch it.
and I thought I
Didn't we
covered
do
it.
Swamp? Oh, it's a lake.
We did Swamps, yeah. Which in the Swamp category, we had a bunch of killer croc films, and that's
Yeah.
why I always think we've covered it.
We need to watch Lake Placid. I've heard it's really good.
It's got Betty White in it.
That's cool. I didn't know that. I'm sure you've told me before.
I've definitely told you that before.
Absolutely.
It's okay.
Huh?
It's okay.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, all those croc films, I think, tend to be okay.
The one, what was the one we watched?
Blackwater?
Was it Blackwater?
I believe so.
Did we watch multiple killer croc films?
Because that was the one in
the estuary, right?
the mangrove forest.
Yeah, that movie's really good. I really like that movie. I think that movie's better than okay. Okay. This one's also stupid. This isn't really horror news. This is just something I want to talk about. So we all know that Jared Leto has kind of taken a turn for the worse after Morbius and his many other schemes. Not like I would say he's a big name. He's famous, but he's not a big name actor anymore. You know what I mean?
He's famous for doing some questionable
Doing questionable things.
actor choices.
Yes. Apparently, they're making a live-action Masters of the Universe movie.
Is he playing Skeletor?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so excited.
No, it's so stupid.
But he'd be such a good Skeletor because that. So, I think a lot of people's issues with him in recent years, particularly like with Morbius and everyone knows the iconic Joker, is that he's just played those parts really, really over the top.
Yeah.
And Skeletor is exactly a part that works well with that. So it might be like a Nicolas Cage situation where you put him in the right role and it's going to be really, really good. Because he's okay. I mean, we saw him in, what was that? The meta slasher film.
Oh, Urban Legend?
Urban Legend.
Yeah.
And he did an
He was
job.
good, yeah. I was thinking in recent years he's lost a lot of credibility as a good actor.
Well, yeah.
Because he's been in some really bad movies. Like Morbius fucking flopped. The Suicide Squad from 2016 was a fucking flop. I mean, that's actually really the only two I'm thinking of right now.
Yeah, and again, I think it's because those are pre-established characters, but they're not supposed to be as over the top as he played them. Especially the Joker. That one was a choice.
No, I saw this article and I had to click on it because that's such an insane thing for me to like just spout.
You know what's a good Joker portrayal?
What?
The one from the original Batman movie?
Oh, who is that? Oh, it's someone really famous.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson, right?
Yep, Jack Nicholson. That's what I thought. I've heard that his Joker's really good.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson. Wait, have you never seen that film?
Maybe when I was younger, but
I have it right there.
I know. Thank you for telling me. Okay, that's all I'm going to read about this article because I'm going to be honest. I really don't care that much about this Skeletor thing. I just thought that was funny. Skeletor.
I assume you've
Also,
seen...
not huge on He-Man. I never have been though. So.
I mean, that's fair. It was made to sell toys.
Yeah. Well, I've heard the new Netflix animated show is really good.
What? She-Ra Princesses of Power?
No, the other one.
Which one?
They made another He-Man show. It was I don't remember
did
what
they
it's
make
called.
a He-Man
Yeah.
show?
He-Man's not really in it though. He like gets it's a whole thing. It's like it's set in the He-Man universe, but like it's not that it's I don't know. It's complicated.
The way you've explained it is very complicated.
No, because like He-Man shows up and then he gets like got and then it's not really about He-Man, it's about a bunch of his friends and cronies trying to save He-Man.
Is it a movie or a TV show?
Pretty sure it's a show.
Oh, that's such a weird choice.
I know. That's what I said. That's when I was watching. I said, "What the fuck?"
Anyways,
Anyway, back to the
Batman?
podcast part of the podcast.
You've seen the second one, right? With Danny DeVito
Yes.
as the Penguin?
And which one has Mr. Freeze?
That is, I
Never mind.
believe, Batman Forever.
I was about to say that's a different one.
Which is fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
I count that separate because, like, the first two, I think, have a different Batman actor.
That's what I thought, right?
Because it's Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton,
in the
right.
first two, and I don't think he's in Batman Forever.
Is he not?
I don't believe so.
We're really going on a tangent.
Plus, it's a
here.
different, like, director producer. Like, because I don't think what's his name is associated anymore. Tim Burton with that one,
Okay.
and Val Kilmer's the Batman in Batman Forever.
The
So-
reason I was bringing up the one Mr. Freeze is because that's Arnold Schwarzenegger,
That is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
and that's the category I'm picking today.
okay. Well, before we do that,
Oh
I
my
should
god! I was
probably-
trying to get a good.
It was a good transition, but do you want me to explain how we do the podcast?
Oh, I guess we
Yeah.
should do that.
Okay, so we have on Beware the Board a board, which is how we pick the movies we watch because it's somewhat random. I know what we're doing, somewhat, and
Ben knows what's happening sometimes.
Bob then picks from our list, and we do our list with 3 different categories. One's chosen by me, one's chosen by Bob, and then one's like from a random list we do every season. And each category has 3 spots. So Bob chooses like 1, 2, 3. This season, my category was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Which is a crazy thing for a horror podcast, by the way. Like I've expressed this, and I'm gonna keep expressing it. How many horror movies is he in? I've only named 1.
So that's kind of like because you named Predator, right?
Predator.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of those weird things where it's he's in a lot of sci-fi films
Oh, and we could get like sci-fi horror, like something
that
like
are like
Pitch Black?
debatedly horrifying. Yeah, kind of in the same realm as Pitch Black, I'd say.
or maybe even Alien in a certain way.
Yeah, so he's in a bunch of like horror-esque, or at least
Is he in
horror-esque
Total Recall?
for me. Which one? The original one?
I think so.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's in a bunch of things, and I figured I might as well put him on the board.
No, I'm really excited.
It'll be fun.
No, that's why I'm really excited about this one because it'll be fun.
Our random was vampires, which
We watched last
I
week.
want to say I threw something on there.
You say that. I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Ben, it has been so long.
It's been a long time. But last week we watched Let the Right One In.
Oh, so good.
It's a great film. If you're ever interested, go watch it. It's one of my favorite vampire movies,
Yeah.
pretty much.
It might be my favorite vampire film we watched. Or just in general.
That's fair. We haven't watched a lot of vampire films.
No, I was about to say we haven't really.
Except for
Fright Night.
Fright
Martin.
which is great.
Fright Night's really good.
It's just a very different type of vampire movie.
Very different type of movie, yeah.
And
No,
then Bob's category, which was?
clowns.
There you go.
Yeah, clowns. Which we started the
We
season
started with.
Hell House LLC.
Not exactly a clown movie, but
Yeah.
it's got clowns in it.
It does have clowns in it.
Enough to freak out Bob.
Well, it took one. It took one clown, and I was scared. Okay,
It wasn't
the bar was
scary
not
clown.
high.
Anyways,
So I'm picking Arnie.
Arnie.
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now I have all 3 spots. I love the start of a season, Ben, because I just have so many choices, and like I don't know.
Well,
I'm just
technically
excited.
you have 3 right now.
That's so many. 3 is 2 more than 1.
That is technically true.
Okay. I mean, I don't really have any idea what's in here, so let's go with number 2, Ben.
Number 2.
What are we watching in spot number 2?
Well, today we're watching a film from 1987.
Okay.
Good way to start the Arnie category. It's Predator.
Oh, fuck yeah. This is the one I was most excited about because it's the only one I know is probably on here.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fucking awesome. I'm so excited about this movie because we haven't seen Alien versus Predator. We've seen Alien. We're going to watch Predator. Now we can go watch AVP.
So I was gonna bring this up. We have a list for like our series.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna consolidate Alien and
Predator
Predator
into
into
one
one
list?
spot so that we can finish up the series.
Yeah. Because there's a fuckload of movies.
There is. I mean, I think
There's a bunch of Alien films, and then there's all the Predator movies and the, like, spin-offs.
Yeah, I think there's only like 5 Predator films,
Yeah.
which is a lot less than the Alien franchise.
True.
And then there's only 2 AVP films. So just so you know, I'm adding that to.
Alien?
Yeah,
That's fine. I'm totally okay with that.
I thought I'd tell you. What do you know about this movie, by the way?
Isn't this Get to the Chopper? Isn't this the famous Get to the Chopper line?
You know my description? Get to the chopper!
No, I know vaguely quite a bit about this movie because of like just being around. Like Predator is
Cultural
super
osmosis.
famous. Yeah. Like I know it's an alien that goes to a planet and tries to find somebody to fight. And if it gets beat, it'll just like give up or give like a reward or something if you beat it in like combat.
This is a vague approximation of
Yeah,
what
yeah,
it's
yeah.
about.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger like beats it somehow.
Okay. Well, it's rated R.
Oh, thank God.
It's an hour and 47 minutes long.
Okay.
For review scores, IMDb gave it a 7.8 out of 10.
That's pretty good.
A tomato meter score of 80%. An audience score of 87%. A meta score of 47%.
Wow.
And a user score of 8.5%. 8.5 out of 10.
That Metacritic score is low. But that makes sense because this is like a dumb action movie.
Yeah.
So that's okay.
And I think a lot of the Metacritic scores are from like, I want to say older, like at the time.
Interesting.
Reviews.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I think it's whatever they can find because they're actual critical reviews in that section. For awards, it has 3 wins and 6 nominations.
Hell yeah, dude.
One of those nominations is a 1988 Oscar nomination for Best Effects, visual effects specifically.
That's sweet.
So that's kind of cool. For notable actors, we have Arnold Schwarzenegger as Dutch. He played Jack Slater in Last Action Hero.
Is that the one about dolls? Or not dolls? Fucking Army Men?
No.
Oh, what am I thinking of?
You are thinking about, I know the film you're thinking about.
It's not called Toy Soldiers, is it?
It might be Toy Soldiers.
Because I know there were 2 of those movies that came out around the same time. One is Toy Soldiers, and then the other one is the one I'm thinking of, maybe.
So the 1991 film about Army Men?
Yeah.
Toy
Toy
Soldiers.
Soldiers. Okay.
The other one's Small Soldiers.
No, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Which is the one with like weird dudes.
Yes, that is the one I'm thinking of. The one with weird dudes.
It's not that.
Okay.
I believe Last Action Hero is the one where he's a like action hero movie character and he comes into the real world.
Okay.
Next we have Carl Weathers as Dylan. You will recognize him. He's Apollo and Rocky.
Okay.
Him and Dutch. So Dylan and Dutch have the very famous iconic meme from this film.
The fucking...
The hand clap. Yeah.
Mhm.
Opidia Carrillo as Anna. She was Maria and Salvador. Bill Duke as Mac. He played Cook in Commando. Jesse Ventura as Blaine. He was Captain Freedom in The Running Man. Sonny Landham as Billy. He was Billy Bear in 48 Hours. Richard Chaves as Poncho. He was a detective in Witness. Shane Black as Hawkins. He actually hasn't done a lot of other acting stuff, but I think it's really cool because he switched to writing.
Oh.
So he was actually a writer on The Nice Guys, which is a very good film.
Isn't that... it's somebody and stuff. They're cops, right?
It's like a detective film.
Yeah, okay.
Not The Other Guys. Just making sure you're not thinking of that one.
I am thinking of that one because the other guys is like a comedy.
That's
with,
a
like
comedy.
Will Ferrell and like
Yeah.
somebody else in it. Yeah.
The Nice Guys is a different film, but also
Okay.
very, very good. But he was also a writer on Iron Man 3.
Oh, that's a good Iron Man
Which is
movie.
Kind of cool. R.G. Armstrong as General Phillips. He played Dial in Children of the Corn, the one from 1984.
That's cool.
And then Kevin Peter Hall as the Predator. And I think he also played a helicopter pilot. So he's the guy in the suit, obviously.
Cool.
And he was Harry and the Hendersons, the Sasquatch film.
I don't think I've seen that or know what that is.
Really?
Sasquatch film?
Yeah. Surprise. You like big hairy man.
No, I like Bigfoot. I'm huge on Bigfoot. Bigfoot might be my favorite cryptid.
That's what the Sasquatch is.
No, I know. That's what
Oh, okay.
but I've not seen... That's what I'm saying. I'm huge on Bigfoot and I don't know anything about this movie.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised.
That's what's crazy.
I'll pull up a photo of Harry and the Hendersons because I'm pretty sure you'll just recognize what the dude looks like just from pop culture.
Oh, no, I have seen that. I've seen that exact image before. Didn't know that's what it was from. That's cool.
Anyways, director's John McTiernan.
Why is that name familiar?
Well, he also directed a small film known as Die Hard,
Okay. Not why I know the name.
our Christmas movie for this year. I'm sorry for spoiling it, guys.
It's already out, Ben. No spoilers. We watched Die Hard.
See? Die Hard.
Not a Christmas movie, by the way.
Definitely a Christmas movie.
I'm not arguing with you again. I'm not doing this.
It's set during Christmas.
I don't care. You're wrong. I will not hear any arguments. Fuck you.
The amount they celebrate Christmas in Die Hard is more than the amount I celebrate Christmas in real life.
Okay, you're just...
Christmas movie.
you're not a Christmas movie, Ben, and neither is Die Hard.
Writers Jim Thomas. He also wrote Wild Wild West.
I've heard of that.
It did really, really bad in
Really?
the box office, I believe.
Mm.
And then the other writer is Jim Thomas. I assume they're brothers.
Maybe?
Jim
or
Thomas
just
and
vaguely
John
related?
Thomas. John Thomas. Jesus, I'm tired. But he also wrote Wild Wild West.
Okay.
So it looks like they did stuff together. Budget's estimated at $15 million, which pretty decent
That is pretty good.
for the 80s. With a box office turnout of $98.2 million.
God, that's crazy, dude.
So that's okay.
Okay is
Okay, you know.
not even close, dog. That is so much money.
As for our country of origin, it's obviously United States. And we do have a couple working titles. We have Alien Hunter,
Oh, okay.
Hunter, and Primeval.
Primeval was kind of hard.
I like that one.
But I think Alien Hunter is probably the best one because Alien had come out, and naming it Alien Hunter, playing off of the popularity of Alien, is crazy.
It's just too simple.
You think so?
Yeah. Because that is literally the working synopsis of this film. There's an alien and he's a hunter.
Yeah, but that's
Alien
But that's
Hunter.
kind of perfect. The movie's called fucking Predator, Ben.
I think that's more iconic. It's kind of like the discussion we had about Alien on the Alien episode where we're like, this name's super iconic, but only because it's for the movie Alien and that film's so good. Because it's also super generic.
I don't know.
Same boat.
I don't know if I agree with you on that one, bud.
That's okay. You can be wrong.
Fuck you.
Tagline is, soon the hunt will begin.
It's okay.
It's okay. As for facts, principal photography took place during 1986, and it looks like it was done in different parts of Mexico, including the jungles of Palenque and Chiapas, Mexico,
That's really cool, actually. I didn't know that.
which is I guess it's technically a rainforest, I'd assume.
That's really cool.
The creature effects for this film are done by the great Stan Winston.
Oh, okay.
We've talked about him a bunch
We
here.
have.
He's great. And then, in addition to him, there are some optical effects in this film. I mean, remember, it got nominated for a visual effects Oscar.
Mhm.
And those are done by R. Greenberg Associates. So thought I should mention them as well. I don't know if we've seen them before.
I was about to say, I don't think we've mentioned them before.
We
That
definitely
sounds
haven't
new.
mentioned them.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've seen them. And as for my last big fact before the movie, because I do have a couple after the film. This film would go on to inspire a bunch of stuff because this film's very famous. We got obviously a couple sequel films, novels, comic books, video games, and even toys, because Predator toys were big back in the day. And I think this is kind of a fun conversation of, a lot of those horror movies that were really big in the 80s and stuff had toy chains marketed at children.
Yeah.
Which is so odd because it
It's
was
very strange.
you aren't supposed to see this movie,
But here's a toy.
but here's a toy.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
But as far as sequel films go, it does look like there are 4 sequel films. There's Predator 2 from 1990, Predators from 2010, The Predator from 2018, which is not good.
Rough.
And I also think that's the one where technically a predator played the predator.
Oh, god damn it, Ben.
What? It's true.
Oh, God.
I forget
didn't
what
even think
exactly
about that.
his thing was, but it made the news.
It did make the news.
And then Prey in 2022, which
I've heard Prey's good.
yeah, we talked about it before. It's better than Predator 2018. I have my issues with it
That's fair.
that I think will honestly come down a lot to pacing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first decent Predator film in
In a while.
a long while. Obviously, in addition to those actual Predator films, there is the 2-film crossover series with Alien.
Mhm.
So Alien vs. Predator in 2004, and then Alien vs. Predator Requiem, which is 2007. And biggest complaint with those films, they're super dark.
Really? That's interesting.
Rob
honestly.
Zombie, Halloween dark.
That sucks. Because the Xenomorph's black.
Yeah, it's not.
The Xenomorph's black and the Predator's invisible.
It's not too big.
You
of an,
can't see anything. It's a blank screen. You're looking at nothing.
It's not too big of an issue with the first film. It's a big issue with
The
Alien
second one.
VP
Yeah.
Requiem.
AVPR,
Yeah.
if you would shorten it.
But thankfully, I have a nice TV for doing stuff like that. So
Hopefully, it won't be that
we should
bad.
be able to see it.
Maybe.
Anyways, that's all I got for pre-movie stuff.
Okay. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I don't know if
You've never seen Predator, right?
No, I've never seen this movie. And people like to shit on me for not seeing this movie because everyone's like, it's so good.
I shit on you all the time. You should be used to it.
No, I know, but not because I haven't seen movies. For a myriad of other reasons.
I just gave up on doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
It was constant.
It was.
And I just had to accept that
You
you're
just
a
had to
shameful
get
person.
over it. Okay. I guess we'll see you guys in a minute. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We just finished watching Predator from 1987.
I think it's 87. I think you were right there.
Well, I had to say the year because I forgot that there was a Predator from 2018.
Is that...
You said Predator 2018, damn it.
I think it's The Predator.
Oh my god. That's so fucking stupid.
Not to be confused with Predators, which is from 2010.
What is that?
It's Predators, but with an S.
Thanks, Ben. Thank you so much. What is that, the third one?
Yes.
Because it's Predator?
No, that's the
Fourth one?
No, that's the third one.
Oh my god. Stupid naming conventions. I hate that shit, dog. Just come up with a unique name. I
That's
don't care.
fair. I do like Predators a lot more than The Predator.
Oh, yeah.
I'll say that.
Well, it's doing the alien thing. But with the third one instead of the second one.
Oh, with the naming?
Yeah.
No, I meant like movie-wise.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen them.
Yeah, that's fair. They're on our list now.
They are on the list. We'll get to them eventually.
How'd you like the movie? Because this was your first time seeing it.
True. No, this was my first time.
And you knew a lot less about this film than I thought you knew.
I thought I knew a lot more than I did.
You knew nothing.
I knew nothing.
You knew one thing you quoted with Evan.
Yeah.
Which is, if you don't know, Bob's older roommate. So what did you think?
Oh, it's a good movie. Yeah, I get it. I get why people like it. I totally get it.
Fair enough. Because you told me while we were watching, you were like, I expected this to be a bad movie.
Well, okay. I feel like you're taking me out of context a little
No,
bit.
because it was just such an interesting point.
When we were watching the movie, there was a moment pretty early on, I would say, probably in the first like 30 minutes,
Oh, yeah. I think it maybe at the first 10.
where I was like watching it, and I knew that this was going to be like a fun action movie with Arnold in it, and that's like sort of the thing I came in with. But it is a lot more than that. And that's what really made me realize, like, oh, no, this is just actually a really good movie, not just a fun, dumb action movie. Like, it's an actual, like, genuinely fantastic film. And I didn't expect that. I thought it was going to be a movie where we watched it and we went, oh, that was fun. It was really fun. But it wasn't, like, fantastic or anything. I was just kind of worried about that.
Fair enough. And I mean, there is a reason that it's like super culturally.
Yeah,
relevant.
totally. I get it now.
Because it's great. With that being said, as always, we recommend you go watch the film before we spoil anything. If you're still kind of on the fence, I'm going to give a brief description before we get into actual spoilers. But, as always, go watch it, please. It's great. If you haven't seen it, it is worth a blind watch. With that being said, what this film is about is it's essentially a rescue mission. Mm-hmm. Arnold plays Dutch, I believe is his name.
Yes, you guys are right.
And he is the leader of, like, this special ops team that do, I think, primarily, like, rescue stuff is what he says. And they are tasked to go rescue, I think they say it's a general.
No, it's like a prime minister.
Prime minister, that sounds
yeah,
right.
and then, like, some other people.
They're tasked to go rescue this American important dude that's been captured by guerrillas somewhere in South America.
Yeah.
I don't even think they say.
I don't think they do either at all.
There just happens to be something hunting them. That sounds good. Check it out. It's a fun movie. With that being said, we're going to get into it now. So spoilers ahead. Do you have anything you want to start with, or can I kick it off?
Oh, you can go first. Sure.
Okay. So the first thing I want to touch on is something I thought was really interesting, because the whole time we've been talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger as like a horror guy, at least for this podcast in context. This is the film you thought about, which I think is so bizarre, because this film is, really famous for Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's just a really famous film in general. And, obviously it's well known in the horror community because of the Alien franchise and its crossover. Not so much as its own thing. But it just blows me away that this was like your, obviously a horror movie, because at its heart, this film is more an action film.
Sure, but I would say it's more a horror movie than something, something like, something like Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Well,
or
that
something
wasn't a
like
horror
that.
movie.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is more a horror movie than that.
Yeah, I know, but I just think it's so interesting that that's what you thought about it from a cultural context, I guess.
Yeah. It's mostly because it gets lumped in with Alien a lot because of the AVP movies. And so, like, you know what? This is a good talking point. I was talking to my girlfriend's dad the other day. This was the other day. It was like 2 weeks ago. We were talking about Alien, and I was mentioning, I've never seen Predator. And he was like, well, you guys couldn't watch that for the podcast. It's not a horror movie. And I started arguing with him. I was like, what do you mean it's not a horror movie? Alien's a horror movie. Isn't it like the same thing? It's not the same thing. But you know what I mean? Like it fills the same hole of scary monster hunts people, and that makes it a horror movie. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's fair. And I do think parts of this film are like classic horror movie stuff.
Oh, for sure.
But I thought it was just a very interesting take for you to have, because I think it's a take that a lot of people have who haven't seen this movie because they associate this with Alien or other monster films. And it's very different. And if you haven't picked up on it already, this is an action film.
Oh,
in fact,
yeah.
The first half of this film is very stereotypical 80s action film. It's very over the top. The dialogue has a lot of like quips and one-liners. What's his name? Just says, I'm a sexual tyrannosaurus.
Talking about Blaine.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro puts in some chew and goes, this stuff will make you a sexual tyrannosaurus.
And, people just have tons of one-liners. The plot is very loosey-goosey.
Yeah.
Lots of just like over-the-top masculinity stuff. The most famous one is there's the meme of the Arnold grasping hands with, I always forget his name, Apollo Creed.
Dylan?
It is Dylan. I meant the actor name. Carl Weathers. And like the over-the-top, just like biceps.
No, and that's the thing I quoted. Because he
Yeah.
says, CIA gets you pushing too many pencils.
And,
It's good.
I love the first half of this movie,
Oh, I do too.
even though it's not a horror film and is, just like this over-the-top action film, for two reasons. First of all, I think, well, it is in some ways making fun of itself. It is one of the best, like, 80s action film sequences that I've ever seen.
I mean, I said it during the movie, and I think we clipped it. The scene where, like, you get the first piece of action is, first of all, like, I would say 10 to 15 minutes long.
Oh,
it's crazy
super long.
But it just doesn't stop, and it keeps going. Like, it is so just, like, back to back to back explosions, people dying, fire, people, like, shit's just constantly happening on screen. But it is not overwhelming in a bad way at all, which is something I expected to happen. Like, it's not just, like, bullshit happening, explosions, you can't really understand what's going on, you can't see anything. It's actually, like, really well shot and framed, and a lot of the people dying is, like, cool. And it exceeded my expectations for an 80s action movie in every way possible, and I think that that's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's just really well done. Not to say that it isn't over the top. I mean, things are exploding for no reason. Everyone's on fire.
Everyone is on fire.
It's super impressive. But the other reason I really love that this first part of the movie is because by making it a very stereotypical like 80s action film, the really cool thing that I think this film does, probably better than any other film I've seen in the similar like monster hunting genre, is it portrays our main cast of characters as like these over the top like unkillable badasses.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it makes the second part of this film so much better and more horrifying, because at the halfway point of this film, it goes from action movie where like our characters are unkillable, like they don't get injured, to, oh, these super badass characters are being hunted and killed like
Nothing.
nothing.
Like, it's easy.
And I think that just does a great job of showing how dangerous our monster is. And I think it's great. I think it's a cool way to make our threat feel more dangerous than it otherwise would.
That's totally fair. I hadn't even thought about it like that.
I think the film does just an amazing job with it.
It's a really good point. I think the thing that, and we just kind of talked about it, but the thing that I find so impressive about this film is that, yeah, it's an over-the-top action movie with like a cool monster and like explosions and stuff, but there's so much more to it than just that part. Like, yeah, all that stuff is great, don't get me wrong, and it's probably why a lot of people watch the movie and are drawn to it in the first place, but the writing is super good. The setup at the beginning is, because if you watch this blind, not knowing what you're watching, they bait you so hard at the beginning that it's going to be like some sort of like spy sort of, I don't know, espionage sort of like action movie about like government, like politics during the Cold War and stuff. And then it flips to monster movie about halfway through. And I think that's a really good flip because it subverts your expectations that they've set up throughout the first part of the film, right? Because they do a lot of like I don't know, red herring type stuff where they're like, oh, the Russians, blah, 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 blah. Like talking about things that aren't Predator related, which I think works and is really fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're totally on the right page. This film has a lot going for it, but the tight writing is what makes it so great. Because you don't necessarily expect it.
No, I don't at all.
They're placing clues way at the beginning for how things are going to go later on in the film. I think the best version of that is the Predator. We don't see until, I don't know, an hour in.
It's a long time.
Roundabouts. And one of the things we discover about it almost right away is it has cloaking, so it can make itself invisible.
Mm-hmm.
And the film like hints on that like really early on, just with like showing the POV of the Predator, but none of the characters seeing it. Or we'll get to see a shot where it's just zooming in on nothing, and it's like, that's where the Predator is.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there's tons of little stuff like that. Like, they'll set up something 10 minutes before they actually use it. There's the sequence at the end does that really well.
Oh, yeah.
Not
Super
to get
good.
into that too much. And then there's, you know, just a bunch of little clues scattered throughout the plot as well for just little character stuff. Good example is, like, before they realize the Predator's there, they find some weird, like, clues related to dead people they find.
Yeah.
Just, like, not normal behavior, like no tracks and stuff. And, you know, all of that elevates this film from, again, dumb action movie to well-written. I don't want to call it a slasher, but in many ways it feels in the same genre as, like, Alien, where it's a creature feature, but it's, like, this unkillable force hunting down men one by one. Now, you know, going on other things that I think are really great about this film. Right off the bat, we've talked about it a little bit. Special effects are
They're
great.
so good.
You know, we talked about that big action sequence that Bob was describing, where there's lots of explosions and flame stunts. But, like, all the fight choreography, I think, is very well done.
Oh, it's really good.
I mean, that sequence has a bajillion people, and everyone's, like, falling on cue and shooting while on fire, and there's squibs exploding.
Well, I think the best part about that sequence and what makes it so good and, like, all of these things happening is it takes a very cinematic approach to that sort of thing, and it's all these super wide shots of all of these things happening, and being able to see all of it at once just shows you the scale, and I think that it feels epic, right? And that's something that I did not think this movie could do on a scale like that.
Yeah, and, like, all that's really good, but it's not the thing that blows me away with stunts. What blows me away are two things. It's, first of all, kind of the little stuff from the main cast of, like, crew. Specifically how I think they behave like actual commandos.
Yeah.
The one sequence that always stands out to me is they're trying to sneak up on that guerrilla camp.
Yeah.
And they all throw themselves down the hill and start, like, climbing and stuff. And I think that's really great. Not to mention some of the silent takedown stuff. But the really big one is the Predator actor. I think he does an amazing
fantastic
acting
job.
like a very strong, very athletic, kind of agile creature. I'm not sure how they do all the shots. I think they slow some of them down, but, like, there's some insane things of him, like, swinging through the trees.
It's really cool.
And, you know, all that looks great. Not to mention some of the fight sequences with the Predator later on and, like, how it behaves somewhat alien.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just really great.
No, it's really cool. While we're on the topic of special effects and fights and stuff, I think the practical effects in this movie are way better than I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, there's not too many practical effects, like, in the sense of creature effects, as we normally refer to them on this show. There's more digital effects, and they're very impressive. The most notable one is the invisibility effects. So I wrote down how those were achieved because I think it's interesting. But, you know, normally green screen and stuff exists. That's how they do that.
Yeah.
But they're in the middle of the jungle.
They are in the middle of the jungle.
Everything there is super green. So what they did instead is they had someone wearing a bright red suit, because it was, you know, the opposite from green and then the blue of the sky. And they made sure the suit was the size of the Predator. And then they used the red to, like, chroma key the area that they wanted to remove. And then they would take empty shots of the background and put the image of the Predator over top of them.
What?
And then they do it at, like, 30% wider lens and stuff.
That's such a cool way to do an effect like that.
Yeah, it's wild. Essentially, they green screened the Predator out partially and then double shot the sequence so that they
That's
could put him
really
over top
cool.
of it. And it looks great.
It's cool, yeah.
The sequence has to be very impressive because it's 1987. And I think it's always the thing that sticks with a lot of people when they watch this film. In part because it's an invisibility effect in a film, and you're supposed to be able to see it.
Yeah.
And I've heard people make fun of it for not looking great.
So here's my thing about it. And I think it's actually in movie reason as well. There's a scene where Mac and Dylan are sitting there looking at the Predator while he's invisible. They can clearly see it. I think it's supposed to look like it does for us, for them too. Like, that's the level of invisibility we're working with, right?
Sort of. Like, he's fairly visible. Like, we as the audience can see him very well. And that's made so, again, we as the audience can see him. How the story's written, I don't think he's as visible to us as the audience.
But he's got to at
as
least
he
to
is
be a
to the
little bit
character.
visible.
But he is somewhat visible. I've always taken it as being like, so have you ever been out on a really hot day and you can kind of see the air shimmer?
Yeah.
That's what I imagine it's more like rather than what we see.
I would say the effect looks similar to that.
But yeah, I think it looks really good. But I have heard people make fun of it. And
That's
I don't
weird.
think that's fair.
I
Because
don't think it's fair either, yeah.
it looks great for 1980, especially for how much the Predator's moving around and
He's
stuff.
doing some crazy shit while he's invisible.
It looks really great. They also combine that with some other really cool visual effects. First of all, the Predator bleeds like glowing green stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I assume it is
Glow stick juice?
glow stick juice, but during the day sequences, they were very specifically like brightening it with digital touch-ups. Looks great.
Looks good, yeah.
And then also, the Predator's wearing a mask the whole time, and it has like camera feed stuff. And
It's cool.
all that's really great. They have to do a lot of digital stuff there, especially because the Predator sees in heat vision,
Which is so cool.
and they couldn't use actual heat vision when they shot the sequence because it wouldn't have looked right. But I think all that stuff looks great visual effects. And then when we actually see the Predator, he looks gnarly.
Oh, he looks so cool.
I think it grossed you out a lot.
No, it did. I did not know what the Predator's face looked like.
Which was shocking because it's super iconic.
And Arnold literally goes, "You are an ugly motherfucker." And he's right. He's ugly, bro.
Yeah.
Bro is disgusting. That's one of the grossest creatures we've seen on the show.
Yeah, and I think it really affirms how great the creature design in this movie is.
Oh, it's so good. I think the
It's-
best part is the fact that other people, fuck, it's been out forever anyway. The Predator's face has like mandibles sort of set up, and they move, and it opens, and he screams.
Yeah,
Shit's gross.
it's a great, I assume, animatronic head,
I have no idea, but it's cool as fuck.
and it's wild. And I think it's this great thing because they made the creature look very humanoid until it starts stripping stuff off,
Yeah.
and then it looks more alien.
And the more alien it looks, the scarier it is.
Yeah, I think that's really great.
We haven't really touched on it yet too much, and I don't know how much we really have to say about it, but it's something I want to personally talk about because, like, I'm going to be honest. I could not tell you the last movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger I've seen in it. I've seen him in. Like, I couldn't tell you the last time I watched him in a film.
You told me it was Batman Forever.
Oh, because he's Mr. Freeze, right?
'Cause I asked you, what have you seen Arnold Schwarzenegger
Yes,
in? And you
that
were just
probably
like,
is the last movie I've seen with him in it.
Is it the only thing you've seen him in?
I don't remember. Maybe.
It might be.
It might be. Because I've not seen a single Terminator. I've not seen Total Recall. I haven't seen that movie he did with Danny DeVito called Twins or whatever. Is that what it's called? I think so.
Something like that.
Something like that. I can't think of
It might just be Batman Forever.
But anyway, Arnold is a fantastic actor.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's one of those people that has a very specific acting type. Like, he's not a great actor, but he's very good for action roles and stuff.
Yeah.
And when you cast him in that, he can do a great job, especially because this is a decent of the way through his career. So he's more practiced in it at this point in time. And, I think he does a great job as, like, the hardened major.
No, I think not only his performance, but everyone in general's performance is really good. Like, I was surprised by how good the acting and stuff was throughout the film.
It helps. They're all 80s action stars, so they know how to play the roles they're playing.
I just thought it was surprisingly good. I think what makes it so good to me is, like, because the acting is so well done and the writing is also on point, there's so much more emotional depth to a lot of these characters and a lot of their situations than I ever expected from anyone in this movie, which I think is super cool. And it's just like a cherry on top of all the other stuff we've already mentioned that's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that comes down to, again, the really tight writing.
Yeah.
Because there's a ton of things in this film that you can notice on, like, second or third watch that really explain a lot more of the universe than you would normally get. Probably the best example of that is you learn a bit about how the predators behave. So the Yacha, that's
Oh, I didn't know their name.
their like race's name. Although I think that's something you get from comic books. Like you learn a bit about their behaviors. So I don't know if you picked up on this. They're trophy hunters.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they're going out there to do. So a lot of how they behave is very reflective of like real world trophy hunters. So for instance, we find a couple bodies tied up and like gutted and stuff because that's what people do. And when you kill something is you'll like drain the blood and stuff. But I like the best example of this is that he rips the skulls out of people
Yeah.
and takes them as trophies when he like kills someone who is hard to kill. With that being said, biggest thing that you learn about their culture is like because he's doing things to get like a good hunt, some of his behaviors that don't make sense in context. For instance, he won't kill people who don't have weapons. Or at the end of the film, because he's like, oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dutch, is a very like worthy fighter. I'm gonna take my weapons off and fight him like hand to hand.
Yep.
And you know, there's just some really cool stuff like that in the background.
No, I think that stuff is really cool. I just wish the movie had done more to lean into that a little more or give us more context around that sort of thing. Because, like, while I find that interesting, the movie could be more explicit about it, I guess.
But it's not supposed to be the focus.
Yeah, that's fair.
The fact that they put it in at all and also explain, like, certain dumb tropes, like, oh, the monster fights on even playing fields with our guy is really cool. And I think what's really nice about that is while the film didn't need it, it makes a really great basis for later films where they take certain things and run with it.
That's fair.
And I think that is really cool.
I have an issue with this movie where it tries to explain some of that stuff, but does not go far enough. But if you're going to give us that little bit, why not full send? You know what I mean?
I guess, but once again, this film's supposed to be from the perspective of the action heroes, and they don't care. They care about survival, so it's not important to the movie. It's flavor text.
I guess. I don't know. I just have a whole issue. We haven't talked about it, but there's a woman in this movie who, like, basically after they blow up the guerrilla camp, she's like the only survivor, and they take her with them, and she like drops lore about the Predator throughout the movie at some points, and I'm just like,
it's only like one line.
But the fact that it's in there means that they wanted to give us some stuff through characters, but they don't really give us anything. They give us very little.
Yeah, but I think that's the perfect amount to give, because it implies that, oh, this thing's so deadly that no one survived it, so we know very little about it. And like the one tidbit she gives is like, oh, something like this has happened before, which shows that probably different members of this species have come here in the same area and hunted.
Well, I also think that set of lines gives a very interesting line that makes sense in that she says like, oh, only in the hottest summers do they come because it has heat vision.
Yeah.
And so
Makes it
people are
easier to see.
sweaty. It's easier to see, easier to hunt. So it makes sense. But I personally am very invested in the Predator lore now.
That's fair.
And I wish I had gotten more lore in the film.
And you can be very interested in that, but I think that shows how well made the film is, that, you know, it's not supposed to give you a lot and it only gives you little tidbits, but from those tidbits, not only are you able to determine a lot about this creature, but you're left wanting more. And that's like the sign of a really well-written and created monster.
Yeah, that makes sense. We haven't talked about how good like the blood and guts in this movie looks yet. We haven't gotten to that. We've kind of gone around it a little bit, bodies here and there. I think it looks really good.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think a couple of the effects are absolutely amazing, particularly when people get shot with the Predator's like plasma weapon.
Oh, it's so cool.
Because it like burns through and explodes stuff, and I think all that looks really great. But, you know, again, this isn't supposed to be like a gory horror film. It's an action horror film. And so that's not the main focus. And while those like particular kills are really great because they're so violent and sudden, a lot of the kills in this film aren't amazing. Like, they're well shot and well done, but they aren't like impactful because there's so many people that die in this film, and a lot of it's just like squibs going off. And it's one of those things where watching it in 4K, you can tell it's squibs and stuff like that, but it's an action film, and I think it all looks really good in context.
That's what I was going to say is like, I think the fact that there's so much violence at the beginning and none of it looks like none of the people in the gorilla camp dying looks like incredible, but I think it's more like the spectacle of how it's happening and less about the fact that it is happening. And then taking their like sort of meaningless deaths and then tying it to these characters that we've been following the whole movie, and when they die and how impactful that then becomes because of how much more visceral and brutal their deaths are. I think it's like really perfect,
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes they don't show the death of these characters,
which I'm sad about, by the way.
but then they'll show like the body being mutilated, and I think that's
Yeah.
a good trade-off.
That's fair. My favorite character dies off screen, dog. Come on.
Yeah, but then they do the coolest thing with his body ever.
It's fair. It's fair.
You know, we talked a lot about things we like about this movie. Was there anything you really didn't like?
I've already explained my grievance.
With just the character?
Not the character, just like the lore bit.
Oh, okay.
Like there's just moments where I'm left wanting something. Like, I don't know. It just feels like post Predator having existed and having all of the spin-offs content and the sequels and the comics and everything. I knew the hunter aspect of the Predator coming in, right? Like, I was aware of that was what was going on. And I wanted more of that. And the fact that I didn't get it, I don't know what to say. I was disappointed. I wish it had more.
That's fair, but I guess would you say that that's you being spoiled by the cultural context of the film?
That's what I'm getting. Yeah, I think that's probably the right take on that.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. And I'm glad you're excited about it because we have
So many more.
4 more Predator films to work through and then 2 AVP
Yeah.
movies, which are not canon.
The AVP movies aren't canon?
So AVP is a weird thing. So both Alien and Predator, we're going to go on a little rant here, came out like 70s and 80s, right?
Mhm.
And then both of them got really big comic book franchises. They're both like pretty well written and they're pretty long, like generally speaking, like there's a lot of spin-off content. But one of the issues with both of those franchises is like comic book stuff started really early in that franchise's life, and the state of the universe would change a little bit every time they made a different film.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that would make certain things not canon anymore because like oftentimes the film trumps
The comics.
the comics. And, you know, that's kind of the issue with Alien and Predator comics, but also like some of the AVP crossover stuff because like they did crossovers in the comics and there's lore about that. And then they do crossovers in the AVP franchise. But some of the stuff they establish in the AVP franchise doesn't work with some of the new Alien films like Covenant and Prometheus. So, you know, it's a little bit weird. Glad you're excited about it because we have some Predator films.
I was going to say, I might go find some comics. Might find the Predator comics online, start reading those. I don't know how, like, spoilery they could be for future films or anything like that, but I think they're probably pretty good.
I'd wait until we watch some more.
Yeah, but who knows
Predator
how long
films.
that'll be, Ben?
Could be next time.
It will not be next time.
It could be. But I wait on it because, like, there's going to be some spoilers for the Alien franchise probably. And
Oh,
then
yeah,
spoilers
probably.
for the Predator franchise. It's better to wait. But you'll have something to look forward to eventually.
Yeah.
That being said, do you have anything you want to talk about left with this film, or are you kind of good to leave it off there?
I think I'm good. Did we get through all your facts?
Yeah, I just had the thing about
The invisibility.
the invisibility. So, cool deal. I guess we can do recommendations now.
I mean, look, this movie's mega famous for a reason, right? If you want a good action movie, it's a good action movie. But if you're a good action horror movie, I don't know how many we've really watched on the podcast. I don't think any for real. It's probably like the first one. This is a great action horror movie.
A lot of our horror movies veer towards action,
I guess Mandy could be up there too.
but this really is action first, horror second.
That's the thing. It's a very action forward horror movie, which I think is fun and like makes the horror, I don't want to say less horrifying, but more palatable. You know what I mean? Like it's still scary, but it's not like scary. It's more like, oh, that's gross.
Yeah, I mean, I think old Bob, who was really afraid, could have watched this film because
Yeah. I would have lived.
action more than horror.
If you like Arnold, I think he does a great job in this movie. I think he's really, really good. I mean, I think the idea of a bunch of army dudes in the jungle sounds interesting. That's kind of what this whole movie is a bunch of army dudes in the jungle. I think those are all my recommendations.
Okay, for me, I think the big one is like if you want a good 80s action film or a Arnold Schwarzenegger film, this is like very famous for being both of those, and I think it's a good representation of both of those genres.
For sure.
Especially if you've seen some stuff that's similar. I mean, I think at this point, Arnie had already done Commandos. I believe he's in that movie, which is very similar to the action sequences of that of this film. Because Commandos, I believe, I keep calling it Commandos. Commando is very specifically like a action film. I think The Jungle as well, or at least out in the field. But yeah, aside from those 2 points, I mean, I think if you just want a cool alien monster movie, like everyone knows The Predator, so if you haven't seen this film, you're familiar with The Predator. Go watch it. It's the first film in that franchise, and I do think it's probably the best one.
As is the case most of the time.
Yeah, usually. With that being said, rate it.
I like this movie. I think it's a lot of fun. And I think for all the gripes I do have about like weird lore inconsistencies me and Ben talked about, there's another inconsistency that it bugged me, but
I don't think it was an inconsistency.
I
It just
definitely do.
annoyed you.
Considering I'm not getting into that. We're not going to argue anymore.
No, that's fair.
We argued a while on the episode. Or on the move during the movie, we argued. I still think it's a fantastic film. While I do have some complaints, does that mean I can't give it a 5? Maybe. I'm kind of at a weird spot. I think I'll probably still give it a 5 because to be honest, we argued during the movie and Ben's probably right. Keyword there is probably. No, I'm not giving you 100% correctness on this.
Well, let's say Ben is right, but you still have issues with it.
Sure.
Because I think that's basically what happened.
And I have problems. But I'll still give the movie a 5 because I think it is a great action movie and it's a great movie about dudes in a jungle. Like, that's such a simple concept. But it's executed so perfectly that, like, I can't not give it a 5. And also, the cultural impact of Predator is crazy.
Oh, it's iconic.
It's iconic. Like, getting all the fact that I quoted it without ever having seen it is insane.
Well, the fact that there's memes from this movie.
There are memes, like,
that people know.
the
to this
cultural
day.
impact alone is enough, I think, to give it a 5,
'Cause
which is wild.
It's been over 30 years.
Has it
at
been
this
over 30
point.
years?
Yeah.
87? Yeah. Fuck, bro. That's crazy.
All right. For me, I'm also going to give it a 5. And I think it's maybe a similar reason, but kind of the thing with this film is it's not perfect. Like, it's
No.
not a cinema masterpiece.
But it goes above and beyond the expectations of dumb action movie.
yeah, but that's the thing. It hits exactly what it needs to be for the premise they made. Bunch of commandos in the woods being super over the top and then just getting murdered by an insane threat. It just is what it's supposed to be, and it does that perfectly. I mean, it makes essentially the genre it's in, which is, I'm going to call it Predator films, but there's, a ton of different, like, copies of this film.
Okay. I'm about to say something crazy.
What?
I think this might be, and I don't want to like ruin our reputation here by saying this.
You ruined your reputation.
No, this is a joint reputation thing. I think this might be the first movie that we watched that truly deserves a 5. Like, actually, like...
Oh, that's incorrect.
No, I'm serious. Because of what you just said. Like, that was... I don't know. There's something profound about that in my noggin. Maybe I'm just stupid. But you were like, yeah, it does everything... Like, it hits all of the beats it needs to. And I don't think it drops the ball anywhere. That, like... I don't know. It is... If you look at... Sorry, here we go. If you look at the genre, it's the perfect movie in the genre. You know what I mean? When you look at it encapsulated by the other things surrounding it that are in the same vein, this is the best one. And it is perfect in that way, I guess is more my point.
Yeah, that's fair, but like we've covered other things that fit that same rule.
Yes. But
I mean, Alien's going to be the other really obvious
well,
one.
Alien, I think, is the other end of the spectrum, right? It's either Alien or it's Predator. There's no in between.
I mean, very different film, but they both kind of like set the standard for the
Exactly.
genre.
And I think that is something that I missed when watching it. And now I'm like, oh, okay. I get it.
Point being, we've definitely watched other 5s before, Bob.
Yeah.
So that was an insane statement, but I'm glad
No,
you got through
yeah. That's why I stopped myself.
it.
Because I started saying it and I was like, hold on. Am I crazy?
A little bit.
Yeah, well.
Well, outtakes, I guess.
Oh my God, there are so many. I'm sorry.
Hopefully we
audience.
keep them.
Well, I think we marked about 25, which is a lot. I don't know how many of them are actually usable because there are some moments in the movie where I just lost my shit.
Those are fun.
Yeah, those are fun, but sometimes it's incoherent.
I'm just excited to have outtakes because we haven't been having them.
We had
for a
some
while.
last time.
Yeah, like 2. But then like multiple times before this, we've had
None.
None.
Because the movies have been somber and
Yeah.
like chill. This was not a chill movie.
either case. We'll be back in a second.
Yeah. We'll see you guys in a minute. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the outtake section for this episode of Beware the Board. I hope you're enjoying our review of Predator so far. I really love this movie. I think it's super duper fun and is genuinely a great film. But without further ado, let's get into the outtakes. This first clip is our reaction to the iconic meeting between Dutch and Dylan. Oh my god, it's in like the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
That's so good. I got you pushing too many pencils, huh? That's crazy that I knew that line before it happened. I haven't
That
seen
is a
this
little
movie.
wild.
No, me and Evan quote this shit all the time. We literally see each other and we'll do the exact same thing. This next clip is Ben making a very good point. Oh,
That guy's not having a good day.
I think he might be dead, Ben.
That's why he's not having a good day. He's not having
Actually, I
an
think he's
anything
having
day.
the best day.
Bob, stop being suicidal. You don't have to put it in, but I did mark it.
This next clip is just some absolute fucking nonsense. Holy fuck. Not what I thought he meant when he said that.
It's an insane thing to bring into the woods.
It's heavy.
They're heavy as fuck.
Whoa, we're blue. Blue da ba dee ba de ba da ba ba ba. Is that copyright?
Probably.
Blue with some red. Oh, it's night vision. Heat vision?
Heat vision, bud.
It's daytime right now. He doesn't need night vision.
Good job figuring that out.
Thank you. This next clip is our reaction to one of the most tragic deaths in the entire film. Damn, I can't believe Big Pussy's dead. That's crazy. My favorite large corporation, Big Pussy. Similar to Big Pharma, but not the same. Oh my god, those his insides?
Well,
When
now
does-
now they're his
I was
outsides.
gonna say, when did his insides become his outsides? What happened? This next clip is our reaction to someone saying something that you should never say in a horror movie.
if anyone goes, I could make it.
They cannot,
make
No,
it.
they are dying. He also ate like a cartoon log trap to the chest.
Oh no, all his ribs are probably
Oh,
shattered.
He's probably fucked.
His lungs aren't punctured, but like he is not doing good.
No, he went flying when he got hit by that.
His body is now at the same level as Mac's mental health.
Shambles. Absolute shambles. This next clip is our reaction to one of the most brutal commando deaths in the entire film. You know what Mac's big bald head reminds me? What the hell is that? Oh!
Kind of reminds me of a watermelon. An exploded watermelon.
Whoa. That's crazy. I can't believe that just happened right when I was talking about it. Right as I start talking about his big bald head. This next clip is our reaction to the coolest commando death in the entire film. Oh my god, it blew his arm off!
Yeah, I just like how it keeps firing.
Well, yeah, because his finger is on the trigger.
I know, I just think it's funny.
Well, now he doesn't have a weapon, Predator. You can't kill him.
Now he's got two, remember?
He does have two, I forgot. Oh, whoa, that like half arm looked really good.
Yeah.
It's a damn good half arm. I didn't expect him to die. This next clip is a conversation about traps. What is bro doing? He's formed like a, is it a trap?
Yeah, that's what he's making.
Well, the
He's
trap
making
hasn't
traps.
worked. A trap has yet to work on the Predator.
What are you talking about? It worked last time.
It worked.
They netted him.
But then everyone fucking died, Ben.
Yeah, but that's not the trap not working. They just didn't shoot him fast enough. Which, in their defense, I don't think they'd fully realized he was invisible then.
No, I don't think they did
So they were
either.
just really surprised and they thought they went off on
nothing.
nothing.
Like a squirrel or something.
Yeah. So
This setup is insane.
that makes sense. I mean, like, for any trap you see that's, like, activated like that, you do need a counterweight or some type of something. Now, what is insane is that he's able to do this by himself, because that tree would have been fucking heavy.
Well, look at how big he is. Oh, and he's gonna bait him with the body. Oh no, this is him with the bodies.
No, he's well, you'll see.
What is he doing to Billy? Billiam. His spine?
And his head, yeah.
This next clip is my reaction to the Predator face reveal.
Oh! Yeah. Oh! Ooh, no. Oh! Why does he look like that? Oh, put the mask back on. Gross. Put the mask on. The mask stays on during sex.
I like that it means the implication is you would have sex with a predator.
That was the joke, yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the outtakes. Do we have any announcements, Ben? Well,
Well-
Christmas came out, right?
Yeah, this is
Post-Christmas.
2 days after Christmas, technically. So I guess we still have
New
one more
Year's.
holiday left. Yep, it's New Year's. That's coming out technically on the 1st.
Yeah,
For us, it always feels like the day before because we work third shift. So
it's true. It is. Yeah, I usually... normally, Ben will send me the thumbnails really late, and I'll upload them on my way into work.
yeah. So we have that to look forward to, and that's gonna be the last thing we have to record for this year, like holiday wise. So I
Yeah.
think we're actually gonna start on Evil Dead stuff soon.
You shouldn't have said that. You've
We-
cursed us.
We had scheduling issues before.
You've cursed us with that one.
but
You
I
should have left that on the burner.
I mean, yeah, but let's be honest. Our next holiday episode isn't until
February.
February. So, once again, don't know when those episodes are going to come out. It could be months from now, but at least we can hopefully start.
recording them, yeah.
Not that you'll know that. I'm just
No.
letting you know.
I mean, we might talk about it.
Otherwise, usual spiel. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, other podcast-specific platforms. If you're checking out us on any of those, please give us a quick rating or review. We really appreciate that because it helps us get seen by other people on those platforms. If you really want to help us out, though, you could recommend us to a friend. That's the best way to spread the podcast around and a cool thing to do. Otherwise, you can go check us out on YouTube, which, while not the best for audio-only content, is really great for showing us some support. We can see all your likes and subscriptions, stuff like that. It's just really cool. It gives us a lot of motivation to keep doing these things, even when we're recording at like 8 a.m. in the morning after we got off at 7. With that being said, there are a couple cool tools on YouTube that you might appreciate. First of all, there's a bell button, which lets you get notified whenever we post something new. So in case we're posting something out of our usual schedule, very easy way to tell. There's also a search button, which lets you search key terms in all our videos. So in case you're looking for like a specific movie title, that's a very easy way to find if we've covered it. Otherwise, biggest thing with YouTube is it's one of the 2 major places to communicate with us at. You can do that in the comment section of a specific video, or you can go over to Twitter at BewareTheBoard and go chat up Bob. Maybe reminisce about the good times when you crawled out of a 32-man meat grinder.
Look,
Or maybe tell Bob how you are a sexual Tyrannosaurus and how you achieved that.
nope, don't tell me that. Please keep that to yourself, actually. I really don't want to know.
What are the secrets to being a goddamn sexual Tyrannosaurus?
Well, apparently it's fucking chewing tobacco. Oh, actually, it might not have been chewing tobacco. It might be something crazy. It was 1987. Could have been some wild shit.
Tell Bob how they get pumps like Arnie.
Well,
I mean, it's steroids, but
yeah,
like,
it's steroids, and I don't want to do those. Like Ben said, check us out on Twitter at BewareTheBoard. It's where we post updates about the show, information about the show. Basically, if there's anything you know about the show, it goes on our Twitter. On Mondays, I post a spoiler post for that week's worth of episodes, which is a hidden movie cover you can reveal. So you can watch the film before we do. So whenever we're talking about stuff and being vague, you know what we're talking about. Then on Fridays or whatever other day episode goes live, I always post a link to the episode on our Twitter. So if you ever miss an upload or know when it's something up, there's always a link there. Last thing, we do short form content for the show over on TikTok at BewareTheBoard and on YouTube Shorts. So if you like short form content and want to support the show, check us out over there on TikTok at BewareTheBoard and on YouTube Shorts.
nothing new for a while, but
No, I haven't gotten to it. You're right.
maybe eventually. You also, as of
No,
recording
I
this,
know.
haven't posted those memes.
No, I meant to do it last week.
I know.
Sometime.
It's okay.
It's not.
It's not, but like, at this point, they're so late that I'm like, I'm just going to be excited when you do it.
No, I know. Yeah.
Because I think the ones I made were very funny.
Well, okay. I think one of them is really funny. The other one is a book.
Well, you don't have to post all the flavor text that I sent with it.
What do you think? What's the point?
It was more for you.
Well, in that case, I'll just post the one that is for everybody.
Well, you can post both. Like, you can post both memes. You just don't have to post the flavor text.
Then what is the point of the first one?
They're both fun.
In context, one of them is really funny. Out of context, one of them is funny.
The context is for who's seen the movie.
I'll post both with the flavor text because
Okay.
I'll have to find it. It's in my text messages. But I think that's it, Ben.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, see you guys next time.